Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos. This is the sixth and final video in a series that I made which has explored different aspects of the college application process from the lens of a student who has already gone through it. Today's video explores what caused the biggest amount of work and just trial and error throughout my application process. Essays. During the video, rather than explain specific ways on how to approach certain prompts and topics in the essays, I want to give overall advice on how to go about the essays, similarly to how I discuss financial aid. I'll put a few links in the comment section down below so that you can actually get some specifics and get started with your essay brainstorming. So, the essays for your application are separated into two main categories: the personal statement and the supplemental essays. There are slightly different ways of approaching these two types. So, let's get started. The personal statement or Common App essay is the essay that you will have to submit to all the schools you apply to. If you're using the Common App to apply to college, the personal statement is usually responding to one of the following prompts. The prompts are very similar with the coalition application. And as you can see, the prompts are very open-ended, so you can basically talk about anything in your application essay. But the most important part is that the essay has to reveal something about you that the rest of your application has not been able to. Your essay can be about a family member, about pizza, about your rock collection, about anything, but it has to reveal something and connect to how you are as a person and a student. And if you were able to do that with your essay, then you did a great job with it. For example, in my application for my Common App essay, I started with an anecdote of a bridge that my dad and I would cross every time we went to a forest preserve in Mexico. I then connected that to my experience being bilingual in the United States and how it taught me the language is a powerful way of building bridges and how you can help your community move forward. What I discussed in that essay was then supported by the community service I put down in my activity section and my love for foreign languages that I briefly talked about in my short essays. Of course, don't think you have to write about the same thing I did. And actually, I would encourage you to just not do any of the topics that you see written about in a website or video. You want your Common App essay to be something unique to you. Something that a person that knows you well would know was written by you or describing you if they didn't know who wrote it. Something that also many students seem to think that they have to write about to make a great essay is to talk about something traumatic or a life-changing event. You don't have to do that, I promise. Of course, you can, but again, make sure that it transmits a unique side of you. I don't want to invalidate your experience. I wanted to make a specific section for essay cliches because it is truly something that a ton of people fall into. By cliches, I simply mean topics for essays that are very common and honestly quite overused at this point. Some examples include the resume, which essentially repeats what the activities list said and just looks like a bragging speech about how good you are because you got certain awards. Trust me, that won't look good. Be humble. 2. The life-changing experience of doing community service or an exchange in another country and learning about and overcoming cultural differences and the fact that we are all one human race. And 3, the reflection on the sport you played for like a couple of years in high school that allowed you to develop determination and grit and that taught you that you can't achieve anything without working as a team. So yeah, avoid topics like those. And I'm sure that there are more, so just make sure that what you write about is, again, unique to you. Another topic that I think may end up becoming pretty cliche this upcoming application season is this coronavirus pandemic, where many students will discuss, the hardships of staying at home and what overcoming them taught you. We all went through that, so please don't talk about that. Otherwise, the poor admissions officers are just gonna have to read the same thing over and over again. The supplemental essays, or short essays, as some people like to call them, are what a lot of schools require students to send in addition to the Common App essay. Also, pro tip, if they don't require a supplemental essay but they do recommend it, you better write that essay if you want to be accepted. It really shows the school that you're truly interested in them. For short essays, my main piece of advice is to show, not tell. What I mean by this is relatively simple. Let's take a look at a sample short essay prompt from Duke University. If you're applying to the Trinity College of Arts and Sciences as a first-year applicant, please discuss why you consider Duke a good match for you. Is there something particular about Duke that attracts you? Now, the most straightforward answer to this prompt would be something like, what attracts me to Duke is their program for so-and-so subject, along with the vast array of clubs and extracurricular activities. Boring. That's really basic, and that's just not gonna help. Answers like that are very dry. They really don't transmit the excitement that you may have of attending a school like that. Instead, I would recommend connecting the questions to something about your life. Maybe you can quickly discuss your passion for a certain activity that you haven't already talked about, and then say that you imagine yourself attending a certain club and walking down a certain quad. This will show the person reading what activities match your interests and show concrete evidence that you'll be an active participant on campus and in the classroom. A pro tip for these essays is to mention clubs, activities, classes, locations on campus by name. This will show the admissions officer that you have really done your research and are really invested in the school. Also, remember that these essays have word count limits, so please be as concise as possible. Reach out to your college counselor or English teacher if you need help with that. I'm sure most will be willing to. There's also a really good book about writing your essays for college. It's this book. It's called On Writing the College Application Essay, The Key to Acceptance at the College of Your Choice. And it gives you a lot of ideas and just help overall to write about for your college essays. I really highly recommend for you to read this. Well, that was all for today. If you have any other comments, suggestions, or questions about what I discussed today or what I have discussed in past videos, please leave them down below. I am sure there are more things to discuss when it comes to essays, as there are a lot of other nuances. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and take care. Bye.